Tough love. There's always a reason why you're suffering. So here it is. Take what you want, leave what you don't. My name's Poppy. I'm a psychotherapist, psychologist, coach. I've worked for 30 years globally with all different kinds of people. You name it. I work for you. I'm unaffiliated. You think of the thing that's the biggest struggle for you right now. There will be a benefit, unconsciously, usually, because it's enabling you to do something else. So where you might be turning a blind eye to a bigger issue, the fact that you're not clear on your purpose, the fact that you don't want that job or that person in your life, the fact that you cannot say no, and you compensate for a lack of self-worth by overgiving, etc. Our culture is making a mint of you when you don't know how to self-respect, when you don't know how to self-regulate, how to know what you're feeling and care for yourself inappropriately, to decide, where do I get to have my own back? Where am I not being direct with someone, and therefore I'm setting myself up for conflict and difficulty and challenge and confrontation? Just check for yourself. What is my pain in X area giving me? It's not that you're sadistic, it's that you're groomed to essentially never feel worthy of feeling good. So AA groups and hospitals and prisons and so on are littered with people who, if they'd had a training in how to take care of themselves, their money, their relationships and so on, they would have a very different kind of life. Consider you. If since school you were taught what emotions are and how you address them appropriately, how to take care of your money, what your passion is, why you're here, what you'd like long term, what a goal is and how you get it. Where are the maps, the guides and the people that can be with you to learn something, given that we're tribal, that is something that you get to learn because that's where your interest is. Instead we get gaslit. Be you, not like that. Be authentic, not like that. You shouldn't think that, do that. You shouldn't learn that way. Actually, no, don't ask for what you want. Put on that mask. No, not that one, the other one. And the top regret of the dying comes in. To most people who say on their deathbed, top regret, whether you're conscious of it or not, I wish I'd had the courage to live my life instead of the life I thought other people expected of me. Just check that you're not on a path to feeling that or saying that. We can change our attitude at any point. You've done the work, I would argue. You put the time in to practice and become a master at passive aggression, overgiving, the most acceptable addiction in our culture, people pleasing. However, most people would rather suffer psychologically or physically than learn how to be direct and straight about what they want and what they don't want. No, I don't want to talk about the past. It's not relevant. Don't have an issue. My parents were perfect. Everything's great. I just, this happened and that happened, and because of them and because of this, and I can't have the courage to live my life in the way I want to. We've got an excuse. It's fascinating to meet people. The things we come up with, it's very creative because we don't want to look at the pain. We don't want to find in us that fruitful, unique, brilliant, mission-driven version of us. So, Lisa Nichols is in my mind. She said, you don't get to make me great so that you do not have to be. And often when I get the boo-hoo, Poppy's bad thing, haha, you're mad. Thank you for noticing. I've worked a long time to be mad. If madness is about not doing what other people are doing, who are unhappy will say that on their deathbed, who are taking drugs, pushed by who knows who, so that you don't know that you're great, then I would yes, please, I'll be mad. You get to have a good life. And what I would say often to people also is, you don't get to make me bad so that you do not have to be. We all have black, white. It's a bipolar world. Night, day, happy, sad, dead, alive, courage, passivity. So again, I developed this fantastic program. It's got a lot of reviews to say it's life-changing. So with 3 decades of information, insight, training, and experience on how to have a good life, if you're interested, for the fee that you choose, however small, you can get mastery of boundaries and triggers for yourself that you can access right now, today, and take it with my love. If you go to the top link tree, look for Thrive, Boundaries, Mastery, and get on with having a good life. If you know of someone suffering, if you know of someone overwhelmed, if you're overwhelmed, if you're underwhelmed, if you have compassion fatigue, if you have anxiety, headaches, symptoms in the body, and so on, firstly go look at the metaphysical. What is your body saying to you that probably you're ignoring because you've been taught to ignore it because you make trillions for the pharmaceutical companies? No flipping apology. Very a little bit. Sometimes a drug can be very supportive while we actually do the work to find out what the actual issue is. However, you might be one of those people who has an excuse, because having an excuse means that you don't have to challenge a system, a person, etc. to change. So you get to change. We get to change. If we want what others have, we do what others have done and we'll get what others have gotten. There's a choice point. Life, every moment. So just have a think. What fantastic, very creative excuses do I have as to why I can't have the money, the relationship, the love, the life, etc.? There will be epic amounts of excuses. And usually they're right on point. They're true. However, they're still excuses. So if you click on my videos, this is what you're going to get. Talking truth to bullshit is important sometimes so that you don't have to keep suffering. There's no reason for it. None. And you're doing all of us a disservice when you do, because we're taking cues from each other depending on what we normalize. So if you've normalized suffering, I'm really sorry, and you've been set up to do that. However, who gets to be savvy now? You or the other people who are taking a living based on the fact you're not? Choice point. Big love.